Meanwhile, Sunnylands is extending its condolences to the royal family and the people of the United Kingdom on the death of Queen Elizabeth. She and her husband, Prince Philip, visited the famous Annenberg estate in Rancho Mirage back in 1983 during their 10-day tour of California. I spoke today about the Visitor Valley with Sunnylands Director of Heritage, Ann Rowe. And first off, Sunnylands' reaction to the passing of Queen Elizabeth II.
Thank you, Peter. It's lovely to be here with you. It's a sad day at Sunnylands. On behalf of Sunnylands, I want to extend our deepest condolences to Queen Elizabeth's family, the people of the United Kingdom, and of course, her many and many admirers around the world today.
And she visited Sunnylands back in 1983. Tell us about her visit.
She did indeed. Queen Elizabeth was a friend to the Annenberg family. They met in 1969 in the United Kingdom when Walter was appointed the ambassador to the Court of St. James in the United Kingdom. So the families met through that formal process, but as was true with the Annenbergs throughout their lives, that formality really organically became a friendship, a true friendship, evidenced by the fact that when Walter and Leonore heard that the Queen was to do a tour of the United States in 1983, they wrote her a beautiful letter, which we have here in the archives, a copy of, asking her to lunch. Which of course, the formality of having a queen in a private residence is a very specific and very rare occurrence, but they thought they would extend the invitation, as was their way. And to their delight, she accepted, she and Prince Philip. And so they arrived in 1983, February. And unfortunately, it was raining. We're known for our weather. And of course, the folks from the UK had heard about splendid Sunnylands. I'm sure they had hoped for a glorious February day, but in fact, it was raining, which of course made for lots of humor throughout the lunch. But they did indeed come for lunch. It was a small group. President Ford, a resident of Rancho Mirage, was here with Mrs. Ford, and it was a lovely, lovely event.
I'm curious, I know it was a rainy day, but did the Queen say anything about her impression of the Coachella Valley?
She did. She was, of course, gracious and said many lovely things. One of the funny things she said was both the royal family and Walter and Leonore collect a particular kind of china called Floridanica. It's from Denmark, and it's quite extraordinary, hand painted. And as they were in the dining room and she looked over the large table filled with Floridanica, she said, "Why, Walter, you and I collect the same china, only you have more of it."
Oh, wow. Anything else, Ann, you would like to say before we let you go?
I joined the world today in being sad of her passing. 70-year reign was extraordinary. She was a great leader for the United Kingdom. And she has a special place in our heart here at Sunnylands and the Coachella Valley.
She certainly does. And we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.